I think we're live, Wes. The people will let us know, although I suppose they wouldn't let us know because they couldn't tell. But we're live. We don't have the fancy shit this week. Sean is absent. First case of baby AIDS. You know,
Yeah, he's
it
starting to
comes
get
for
it.
all of you guys. We told them. But yeah, he is obviously the talent behind the show and our lovely production value, of which we have so much. But Wes, I've got you here with me. 2 weeks in a row, brother. Love it. How we doing?
Mm, we're good. We're not sick. The boy got sick again, but it passed in a couple days, and I don't think I got it this time. Sean got that bad juju on him over there. Yeah, man. There's a lot going on in the sports world, which is always a good time in the summertime. This card this week is absolute fucking trash, but we do get the heavyweight championship of the world is on Saturday, so that's always pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah, it should be a fun weekend. A lot of hockey going on. I know that Oilers win last night was that
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 was a big
that
one.
series. Yeah, that series has been just absolutely insane, bro.
And obviously, the UFC didn't want to, compete against the NLL finals. That's why they went with the shitty cards. I get it. They're
They know
intimidating.
better.
Uh, yeah, but there is a card happening this week up here. It's a long weekend, so there's way too much shit going on, and I probably will not be watching much of this outside of the main event. But we'll catch up with it eventually. We always do. And last week we also had a card, a couple different things we'll talk about. Let's go through the UFC real quick because it'll be quick. Derek Lewis, third round Derek Lewising of Rodrigo Nascimento. It's like the quintessential Derek Lewis performance. There's never a moment of doubt, Wesley. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Fatties
is.
what I'm talking about, of course. Not Derek Lewis winning. The fatties, never in doubt. Not even close.
Yeah, I mean it's always nice to got a couple on that card. We'll talk about yeah, to now be getting Derek Lewis fatties. You used to like that was never happening. It was Derek Lewis
What time to
KO
be alive?
and then like Derek Lewis does the Derek Lewis thing, man, and that dude is literally always he has a puncher's chance, man. I don't care who you are. That like you people know how I've shit on Derek Lewis for years. And it's just mainly because there was a hype at a certain time to where people thought that he was like legitimately good. And
And
this is
had like the death touch.
yeah,
That
this is
was
Derek. This has always been Derek Lewis, though. He's had this death touch, and it's worked for him a lot of times. Not as much lately, but yeah, man, that dude's always got a puncher's chance. Most knockouts in heavyweight history, which is incredible. Like, and there's no other way around it. That's fucking incredible. Yeah, getting the fatties now. Derek Lewis doing crazy things. And on a side note to that, um, the MMA media journalism, whatever the fuck it is at this point, um, is just fucking laughable. You got dudes grabbing cups and getting like whatever they are. They call themselves media, MMA media.
it's
Getting
it's weird.
it's
I
just
like I
weird. That's just weird, bro. Like
don't watch any of that stuff to begin with anymore. So all I see are literally these clips, and just like this. There's multiple of them every week. Like how does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening?
I think I had the perfect statement for it all. Like when the schmo is the gold standard of MMA media, when he kind of is like the dude's like one of the ones that actually like outside of our boy Bronister does his interviews, and there's a few guys that they're not even media or anything now. They do fighter interviews and shit, which is perfectly fine. That's a living. I get it. You know what I'm saying? There's no quote unquote journalism in this sport. It's impossible to do that and have a profession. I understand that, but there's a big gap between guys like Bronister and our boy. God damn it! Now he's fucking. It's escaping my mind. Our other Canadian, James Lynch.
James Lynch.
Those guys that do the interviews and get fighter stories and all that. That's perfectly fine. Even the schmo, he plays a stick, but that's what he does. He gets fighter interviews and shit now. Then you got guys that are literally like asking Dana about like other shit. Chicks saying, I want to get branded because you got a bullfight and all that. Like, we're way beyond the pale of this shit now. Could you imagine ever seeing something like that in other sports? Like even the athletes would like be like, get the fuck away from me. Like you see that shit at like the Super Bowl when they let all the riffraff in. That's the only place you see shit like that in other sports. It's pretty wild to watch, man.
And so, as I said, I just decide not to watch it because that makes my life much easier.
Yeah, you can't watch it. You can't keep up with half that shit. You see the clips on Twitter and laugh a little and move on. That's what you got to do.
There you go. Co-main event, Joaquin Buckley takes the unanimous decision over the Ruzy boy. Carlsberg, 12 seconds over Alonzo Menifield. Just classic run straight at a guy with your hands down technique. Love it from Menifield. Old CDF Mountain yamming it up.
Yeah, he did, boy.
Getting the comeback win over Matus Rebeshki, or like Rembeshki. I don't know where the M comes from. There's no M in his name, but different languages are weird. English also very weird, very strange language. Doesn't make any sense. Sean Woodson, unanimous decision over Alex Caceres. And kicking off the main card, the people's main event. Where's Waldo Cortez Acosta? Well, he's on top. Robespierre Despin. For basically 15 minutes in one of the most hilariously bad fights that I have seen in quite some time. Wes, thoughts on any of that or post-fight shenanigans?
Yeah, that over. That fight starts round 2 was a plus number. The over 1.5 was a big plus number. Admittedly, I did have a little bit on Despaigne and a little parlay, but man, you want to talk about a fucking fraud, like just an absolute fraud. Holy shit, that man was exposed quick. And me and you called it perfectly. It was some fucking Where's Waldo for big chunks of that fight. That was good. I mean, oh boy landed on Waldo. And Waldo was literally like doing Matumbo and shit, waving his finger at him and laughing at him. I was like, man, this guy is a stone cold fraud. Yeah, it was good to get that. Woodson, that fight could have gone either way. I thought I had a ton. So many things cash with the over in that fight. It got a little juicy, but I think I got it at like minus 220 early in the week. Love the over in that spot. Man, I don't CDF is pumping the liquefied fucking yams, man. Like dude's chin is still insane. I mean, Rebeshki beat the fuck out of him in the first round and was dead. And I knew that. We all saw that happening in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like CDF wasn't dead like pretty early. And it was like, we know what's going to happen here. Tried a couple times to get it on a live bet and it was gone. Like even the live betting lines knew once that got out of the first, man. Yeah, CDF did it. I don't know where he's at 39 years old, but
still pretty damn good, apparently.
He's good, and especially if he's not breaking apart and his body's not brittle because he's fucking pumped up on who knows God what. I mean, guy's a problem. He really is, man. I'm gonna get Oldberg. Like, I still don't believe it. Like, if guys are gonna run hands down, chin up, straight at him, he's gonna knock everybody out. that somebody's going to get a hold of him and put something on him. And same with Buckley. That I do not believe that guy is any fucking good, man. Won this shit, but I'm gonna get Buckley too. It's gonna happen.
Probably. Yeah, so that was the main card. I'm gonna blast through the prelims. I have no thoughts on any of it because I didn't watch any of it. Chase Hooper, second round submission over the cold soup. Maybe the soup's gone warm, Wesley. Maybe. Esteban Hribovic, head kick over old T. McKee. Not exactly what I was hoping for there, but oh well. It's just Tabitha Ricci, split decision over Tisha Pennington. Apparently, this was a bad decision.
Very bad.
Trey Waters, unanimous decision over Billy Goff. Charles Johnson, unanimous decision over Jake Hadley. And Veronica Hardy, unanimous decision over J.J. Aldrich. That seemed like a lot of probably not very good fights to start the night. Anything from any of those?
Aldridge probably won. Charles Johnson continues to look better. Look pretty good. That was actually a fun fight. Waters and Golf was dumb fun. Like those dudes just threw down. Billy Golf might have the worst striking defense you've ever seen in your life. Dude didn't care. He just walked. That was fun. Yeah, Tisha Pennington, whatever. She got robbed. McKinney, one of the best head kick knockouts you'll ever see. Like, literally slept. Like, never saw that coming. Never ever saw. There was a chance McKinney gets beat in the first round just by sheer like having nothing left, but him getting a head kick knocked out, never saw that coming. And yeah, the cold soup has been out in the sun too long. Still no tan, but the soup is warm. Chase Hooper might actually be getting kind of good. I thought I said on the.
He just said he was way too young. He needed time to develop, and like it's kind of happening.
I even said on the show that like, when I picked cold soup, I even prefaced it by saying that we don't know the how. The leaps that Hooper's making. He's still so young in the game. And man, he looked good. He dropped cold soup and shit. Like we thought if this was on the feet, cold soup had a really good shot here. And no, he got completely fucking dominated. I can't remember who was reffing that. I don't know what they were watching there. Like that fight could have been stopped but like cold soup got the shit beat out of him on the mat. They could have stopped that like way earlier.
Do they list the referee? Keith Peterson.
I mean,
old booze and cigs Keith.
Man, don't know what he wants to do.
There was, on that note, there were a couple fights that seemed to go on a little too long as far as the beating went. What are you going to do? It's never going to get fixed because people still watch and don't make a fuss about it unless somebody dies. I hope it doesn't happen, but like that would be the one thing that would actually cause them to change some of the oversight around the sport.
Won't necessarily happen in presently while fight happens or not long after, but a lot of these dudes are going to die way younger than they ever would have from these MMA fights. Like way younger. They're going to be mush brain fucks at 50 and shit.
So like, remember WWE after like that late 2000s period where it was just like guy after guy after guy after guy. It's MMA hopefully is not in store for something like that, but I would not be shocked if it did happen. Anyway, that's very depressing. Let's talk about giving each other more brain trauma.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get to this week's card, Wesley, I actually watched some of the boxing on the weekend, and that fella Loma he's pretty good at the boxing, from what I understand.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, that boxing. that was awesome to watch. Cambiosa is like he's not like some horrible dude. Like the guy was held a belt at one point. But that was just a vintage Loma performance. I know Loma, he gets us his props, but I don't think Loma gets mentioned enough, especially lately, in like just the top of the pound for pound food chain, man. Like I don't think most people realize Loma's fault, like pretty much up weight classes his entire career. He's always been so small. The dude was always fighting a weight class up, fighting the top dudes up a weight class. Um, Winning, got absolutely robbed. Who was it? Fuck, I can't remember now. God, we all had.
I know the fight you're talking about.
Was it Haney? The Haney? Yeah, it was a
No,
Haney.
he had one early in his career. Like his first loss, like a Salcedo or something like that.
Yeah, I'm even talking like a couple back when he fought. Was it Haney or was it?
Yeah, he lost to decision to Haney, and he lost to Teo.
Yeah, I mean the Haney decision was atrocious.
Not Salcedo.
That was an atrocious fucking decision. He absolutely won that fight. And then like I don't know, they interviewed Loma after, and he's pretty much the way he was talking. He's pretty much out of boxing, man. His heart really isn't in it anymore. I think he fought this fight pretty much for his dad. Won the fight, won another belt. Loma's an all timer, man. You're not going to get. No, I mean he's in his 30s now. I mean and he's not young in fight years either, because he literally has one of the most impressive amateur records that any boxer's ever had in the history of boxing. That dude's got a lot of miles on him. It was a great performance. Vintage Loma, body shot, fucking knockout. We all cashed the nice plus money on Loma KO. Yeah, I don't know if we see Loma again. The way he was talking after that fight, I'm not sure we see that guy fight again, and it's gonna take out one of the most technical boxers I've seen in my lifetime, man. Like that dude is, when it comes to just the technical aspects of boxing, and that goes back to all the amateur fights and the Olympic fights that he's had. You're not gonna see too many guys like that are that technical. Most nowadays, it's trying to get the power off, Loma never.
Those guys won't stick around at amateur that long to develop all those skills as well.
Never, yeah, and it's
he didn't
then
start
you go
until he was already like 26 or something like that.
Yeah, and already had like, I mean, he fought for a world title in like his 10th fight or something like that. That's how far along he was. And yeah, like guys now literally train. It's just different styles that most pros want to fight. They fight to land the power now and stuff. And Loma was never about that. He was more technical, pick a guy apart, not necessarily always winning decisions. That shit added up and he would get late finishes. But yeah, Loma all time great to me, man. It's gonna be sad to see him go, but boxing moves on, and we got a big one coming up Saturday. Best fight of the weekend by far. So should be good.
Oh, undoubtedly. So I'm not going to talk about that. I don't have an opinion. Well, I have an opinion, but it's very uninformed. What are your thoughts on the Boxeo this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, true heavyweight championship of the world fight. Like, if that doesn't get you up for any sort of boxing, I don't know what will. Hopefully it's not fucking Jake Paul beating up a 60-year-old man is what gets you up for boxing. It's the actual heavyweight championship of the world that still matters. That's still bigger than any other prize in fighting, in my opinion. So, look, man, I know
the most lucrative prize in all of fighting, which
yeah,
it's prize fighting, so It wins.
Yeah. Man, I was especially after watching that Hagano fight, I was like, Usyk's gonna kill this man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not so convinced. I mean, you've seen what Fury looks like, and I know people say this a lot. Fury doesn't show up like this usually. That guy's on some shit. Like Fury is slim and jacked up as much as that pudgy motherfucker can be.
He's
He
on
looks
the Tim Sylvia shit.
now way over that. He looks good, man. Like he looks really, really good. And like Fury always does this. He gets up for the fights that matter when the shit's on the line. But he looks really, really good, man. That's gonna be, I don't know, man. That's a coin flip. The line says it's a coin flip. I think it's a coin flip. I'm actually leaning towards Fury now at this point, man. The whole world is on Usyk in this fight. They think Fury's washed. They watched that Ngannou fight, rightfully so. Think he's washed after that. He doesn't look like it to me. He looks like this is serious to him. And when Fury takes it seriously, man, he's still a fucking great boxer, dude. Going to be a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. I'm probably going to have a little bit on Fury personally. I'm going to see what my boy Matty thinks about it, discuss it with him. Because nobody else's opinion on boxing I really pay attention to besides him, and go from there. But I'm kind of leaning Tyson.
Interesting. Decision. It's like minus 200 to go to decision, right?
Yeah, they're neither of these guys are not. Usyk's got a fucking granite chin and doesn't really knock out anybody. Fury can knock guys out, but I don't see it happening here. Like Usyk's got a granite chin and just doesn't take massive shots. Fury's gonna have to box him. He's gonna have to use that length in boxing, and he can do that. Usyk's gonna want to get in and work. We'll see. It's a hell of a fight. We've gotten some title fights lately when it's, Joshua fighting fucking bums up the ladder and Du Bois and those fucking guys and shit. This is a legitimate, like, high skilled heavyweight championship fight.
I feel like it's also, I always enjoy the big guy against like big little guy, or like
Yeah.
big guy kind of dynamic to a fight, and it's quite apparent here.
Well, I mean, Usyk is really like light heavyweight, cruiserweight or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he fought there most of his career. He just bulked up and moved up when the money started coming. Like there was money fights for him to have, and like he's a great heavyweight boxer, though. Don't get me wrong, but you're right. It's more of Usyk would be like a 1995 heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? To where Fury is a present day heavyweight, fucking 6'5", massive dude. Usyk's definitely in the more vein of those 90s heavyweights, your Evander Holyfields and shit, guys that just kind of filled out and moved up weight classes. But yeah, just amazing fight. It's really good. It's going to be really, really good.
Steve makes a good point. And I know I love me some chaos. So yeah, don't hate a potential draw here.
You almost any of these high level fights nowadays, you always want to throw $20 on the draw. Like always, like it's boxing, bro. But Steve's absolutely right. This is going to be a close one too, to where there's probably not going to be no KOs, probably no knockdowns. This is going to be a very, very close fight.
Looks like we get 16 that I see immediately on the draw, which in boxing is a reasonable, like lowish but reasonable number.
Yeah, your draws and like they're not MMA numbers, because they happen
a number of rounds, and fights are actually competitive sometimes.
But whoever you like in this fight, take $50, whatever, take a little draw. Almost always with boxing now, you just know it's fucking corrupt in so many places. Like you have to protect yourself to have any sort of money on this shit.
We'll talk about the other shit then, the MMA stuff, because my tolerance for the boxing done. Talked about two different boxing things. So let's instead talk about the women's strawweight division. Emily Ducati and Vanessa Demopoulos hanging around on the pole, winning fights. doing what I think she quit. I heard she quit. She's just doing the MMA now. No
Oh,
longer the
did
stripping.
well that might be good. That was good cardio, I would imagine. Might not
I
have that gas tank anymore.
might be the best base for MMA. It's up for debate.
Yeah.
Um, or very opposite, being ugly is usually a pretty good one too. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this fight? Barn burner to open up the card.
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 women's fights on this card. It's whoo, man, it's rough. Um, yeah, not a lot on this for me. I will say Ducati should not be this kind of price against anybody. But I'm definitely not running out to bet the fucking the pole hanger. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really want too much for this dog picking. Toutmaster will probably be making some food when this shit's happening.
Um, Seems like it could be a classic armbar from guard spot,
Good.
just by accident. I'll pick Demopoulos and Toutmaster, but I have no real opinion on this fight as far as a bet goes. Bantamweight division. Alateng Hailey taking on Clegerson Rodriguez. Nailed the pronunciation, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not trying with that. Yeah, I mean, Rodriguez he's okay. He got smoked last time out, but I think that was against the decent Basharat. The split loss to the Viagra man, not great, not bad. Like though Viagra man is a he's a pretty good wrestler, I guess. He just kind of bodied Rodriguez up in that fight. I'm not sure I don't know. He might have to worry about that a little here. If Alatane can get a hold of him and grind a little bit, I think he's got a shot here. I'm just not sure he can do that to Rodriguez. If this is at space, like Rodriguez is a way better striker. Um, Alatang is just durable, man, and he's going to be in this fight to the end. I'm not sure if he can get Rodriguez to start breaking down later in the fight. Maybe. Um, I just don't have a good enough read to even take the slight dog money on Alatang here. He's going to be my pick and town master, but man, just another really close fight. Maybe Alatang by decision. I think it probably goes 15, but man, it's a tough one. Probably pass. Alatang pick and town master.
Yeah, I guess there's a concern, obviously, that a big, strong bantamweight would be able to kind of grapple the guy who got grappled a little bit at flyweight and then again in his bantamweight debut. I think Clayton's the more skilled guy here, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I just not a great read on this fight at all. I think Wes is right, and Alatang's going to be able to wear him down and sort of body him up a little bit as the fight goes on, but I don't feel strongly enough to bet it. Decision was plus 300, which isn't bad, I don't think, but I'm not playing it at this point. Back to the women's strawweight division. Sorry, strawweight division. There's only one. I need to correct myself. It's important to be right about these things, Wes. Piera Rodriguez taking on Ariane Cannelloni. What do we got?
Yeah. I mean, this is another one I don't have a really good read on, but like most of these chicks should not be minus 220 against any other chick in these divisions. I think this is another one. I mean, this Rodriguez chick got armbarred by Jillian Robertson last time out. Like, of course, Theo Cannoli chick she's got a few subs in her shit. So like, would we be shocked if that happens? No. We're getting into the third fight, and my degenerate ass still has no action on this. So I I might be looking at a little bit of under here. I think Brad said armbar from guard type stuff earlier in the first chick. I think that's way more likely in this fight that we could see some dumb scrambles and somebody catch something. And the cannoli by sub is sitting around at like plus 1600 out there. So that's something I might take a little shot on as well. So fight doesn't go under, little bet, and then the old cannoli by sub.
Yeah, like I don't try to have opinions on these fights because I don't really just sit down and watch them and pay attention. But this feels very wide considering who these people have fought and beat. Like Pierre Rodriguez's wins are over Sam Hughes and Kay Hansen.
Yep. And lost to fucking what's her face? Like not good.
Lost to Jillian Robertson.
Yep.
Like cannoli. You know what? I always think I'm gonna like cannoli. I have one. Not great. I try it again a couple years. Have it again. Not great. But I think we're at the couple of years, so we're gonna take a little shot on the cannoli here.
Have you seen this chick? Do you know what's all over her plate? Like
yams.
She's shoveling yams. Like this chick is jacked. It's gonna be woo.
What are the I'm probably gonna have to take a look at some round 2, round 3 props for her as well. Just
wonder what those are.
A quick peek, and round 2, 11, round 3, 1400.
Not bad.
So I think they'll be higher at some other places, but that's something that I will keep my eye on. Next up in the middleweight division, a bust, Magomedov. See what I did there? A bust.
A bust of a Magomedov, right?
He's taking on Warley Alves. Wes.
Yeah, I mean this one should be fun, at least fun for as long as it lasts too. Look, this a bust dude is a fucking fraud. Like maybe the worst bet off that we've got to see come along in a while. The Sean Strickland.
He hasn't been forced to change his name, if we're being honest.
Yeah. You figured your family would disown you. I mean, he does. He did like move to Germany and like left them all behind. He like,
yeah.
This dude was disowned long ago. No wonder he fucking sucks at fighting. Yeah, look, Warley. We know what Warley is. Us on this show have been big Warley guys for a long time now. I think tough Brazil 2, maybe tough Brazil 2. I think. Maybe the first one. I don't know. He was on one of the first couple tough Brazils where it was loaded.
3.
Oh fuck! It was 3. Damn.
3.
Well, those 3 tough seasons literally was loaded with tons of Brazilian dudes that fought all over the UFC and shit. But Warley's been fun since then. Only 33. We know, we've talked about it. All of these Brazilians, there's not the strictest drug testing anymore, and
they were targeted. They were unfairly targeted by the corrupt American government organization USADA.
I mean, when you're popping Anderson Silva with dumb test, when he's popping, it's some corrupt shit because there's no way that man would be doing anything of the sort. Yeah, I mean, I've won money on Warley. I've lost money lately on Warley. We're gonna go back to the well, and I just think this Medoff is a fraud, and I think Warley's gonna fucking come right at him, and he's gonna throw down for as long as he can throw down. And I think he's gonna connect on something. If Sean Strickland is fucking finishing this fucking guy, I know Warley fucking Alves can finish this guy. So we'll take a little of that money line. Man, there's some plus 240s in some spots. And then I'm not gonna take Warley KO because Warley is known to jump and snatch a motherfucker's neck. So I'm just gonna take some Warley inside. This isn't widely released yet, so I'm sure there's gonna be better than plus 355 out there. Hopefully we can get somewhere another dollar on that when bet 365. I don't know if they're up yet, but yeah, Warley inside, little Warley money line, and hopefully we get vintage Warley going crazy and not gonna do that.
I'll try and find out what Warley is at 365. But yeah, I think like obviously the concern if you're betting Warley is what happens if the fight gets out of the first round and that initial blitz doesn't get him. Is that such a concern against this guy? Like he's completely gassed against Strickland and got finished, which I suppose is excusable because he took the fight on very short notice, but still like not that inexcusable. And then I don't remember him doing anything against Kyle Baralho, but try and wipe all that dude's fights from my mind. So can't really recall if he tired heavily in that one. But what I'm trying to say is that the normal concern about Worley just gassing and quitting, I don't think that's really here with this dude. Worley's going to come at him. I know Steve says that his length, a bust's length, is going to prevent Worley's kicks. I still think Worley's going to get some decent body kicks in there. Like he's going to be able to wade in, and I think he's going to either catch something early or be able to do it for long enough that he's able to walk away with a victory here.
Yep, looking like about
positive. You're not concerned about Worley getting an early finish here, Steve. Sorry, I'm conversing with the wonderful expat Steve.
Over no sweat bet. I mean, Warley's fought a certain way for a lot of years now. It's pretty much kill a man or be killed pretty quickly. So, not that it's out of the realm of possibility. Like we've seen Warley go 15 minutes before. Not often, but it happens.
I suppose if you're picking a bust to win, you're thinking this goes over and he probably gets a late stoppage or wins a decision. But obviously, we are not thinking that way since we both are looking in Warley's direction here.
I'm not picking Warley to win a 15-round decision here. I'll tell you that much.
Or a 15 $25 on the Warley round one with old Mason. I probably didn't even end up getting a good number, but it was 1,000 at the time. So we'll see what pops at other places. Anyway, enough about that fight. Moving on to the women's bantamweight division. And that time it is women's bantamweight because there's a men's bantamweight. Or a bantamweight, as some might say. Tamales Vidal taking on Melissa Cat. Wesley.
Yeah, another one, same thing. Don't have much. This is just way too wide, though. Like, I don't... Gatto should win, but, I mean... She's literally lost 2 in a row and she's fucking minus 350 here. Like, I don't get those lines. Still not running out to
late notice, allegedly as well.
Yeah, I mean, watching the Vidal fucking Sassoon lose to Monster Rat is not a good look. So I'm definitely not running out to bet this line at all. The under isn't the price that they are on the other two chicks, but this fight seems like it's gonna have some dumb finish. So the only spot I'm looking at here is the under. It's a little plus money. Haven't bet it. Don't know if I'm gonna bet it, but Vidal would be the pick and towel master because these lines are just kind of wild and like really low level women's fights. I just don't know how you're laying minus 350 on somebody in these kind of fights.
Yep. Picking Vidal in Tout Master. I guess picking her in real life or whatever that would be. and no real interest in betting the fight. So we are going to keep it moving. Light heavyweight division. Umar Sai, third Sai's a charm. He was supposed to fight Rodolfo Bellato, and then he was supposed to fight. Is that Alfred R. Broccoli? Dude that made the Bond films?
Oh
But
man.
now he's fighting the legendary Tuco's Tacos, delicious restaurant in Sudbury, Ontario. For anyone, it's vegan. It's one of the few vegan restaurants I've ever been to that I've actually enjoyed my experience at. So, ringing endorsement. But anyway, Tuco's Tacos, free ad. Check better be in the mail. Wes, do we have any idea who either of these dudes are?
I mean, they had this C guy lined up to fight some dude named Ivo Cook, the Keebler Elf Silva. Dude, like this is some stuff. He did fight old Lucas Enrique da Silva last year over in KSW. Not too bad.
And one of the Alcantara brothers,
Yeah.
the bad one. That
I
one.
mean, he is over doing what he's supposed to do, and
Against like guys who know what they're doing, at least.
yeah, and I know like Tacos is he is over from across the pond, but it looks like he's training at Killcliff, so he's apparently decent enough to get into that gym and get some work in. So uh I don't know how good the guy is. I know he beat Myron Dennis last time out a couple months ago. I don't guess that's like a horrible win or anything.
It says it's
I
by
just
arm injury, so I haven't seen it.
I haven't
So,
either.
yeah.
I have nothing on this. I've seen C fight in a few of these fights. I can't remember them. Not going back and looking. Not sure I've ever seen the Taco Man fight. So yeah, this is just a pass for me.
I have no idea who either of these guys are. No clue. And we're going to continue that trend on to the lightweight division, where Tom Nolan is taking on Victor Martinez. That would be like, hey, computer, give me the most like generic Commonwealth name that you can, and then give me the most generic Latin name that you can. And boom, these guys appeared on your creative fighter, and now they're scrapping, Wes.
I mean, you had Steve Gregory, Tom Nolan. I mean, we're getting white Englishman vibes on the show tonight here. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess Nolan should win this fight. Victor Martinez is not very good, but man, that's just a big number. I'm not laying that on Tom Nolan. I know Victor Martinez got fucking some dumb finish got by our boy Jordan Levitt last time out. That seemed kind of fluky to me, and I know Nolan's got a bunch of finishes against some bums. I don't know if he's taking Victor Martinez out in the first round. Maybe he does. I'm going to take a little shot that he doesn't, and fight starts round 2 as minus 125. I'm going to take a little bit of that. I'm going to take a tiny bit of the over 1.5. That's plus money. If Nolan gets Victor Martinez out of there in the first round and looks as good as he did against fucking Nicholas Mata, then so be it. But I don't think he does. I guess Nolan's the pick, but Jesus, imagine laying minus 475 on a fucking Englishman.
Is that?
I mean,
that's really the price?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's just kind of wild. I
This
mean,
dude?
he's okay. That's just a crazy line, man. Victor Martinez is not good.
Sure, he's okay, but he just got absolutely melted by Nicholas Mata. Like,
Oh yeah, he did. That's right. That's the fight Mata won at the big price. I was looking at that wrong. I
Yeah.
thought no, yeah, that's the fight he just lost. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, Victor Martinez doesn't have the power of Mata by any means, but Tom Nolan's minus 475 coming off of that. Yeah, that's nuts. Um, yeah, I'm gonna pick Victor Martinez at Top Master, but man, could you imagine laying minus 475 on a guy that just got smoked by Nicholas Mata? Holy shit, bro.
Um, yeah, that's essentially my opinion as well. Like both of these guys got melted by dudes that really shouldn't be doing that to you.
Nolan's was much worse. Like no Nolan got fucking knocked out. Like that's kind of bad.
With all
Yeah.
that said, this is a generic lightweight fight, and the over 1.5
Yep.
is plus 135. Like,
You know Nolan is gonna fucking slow down in this fight to begin this fight. You know he's not gonna come out like he's usually a fast starter going in towards guys and shit. I don't see that happening. Not after that last fight. Yeah, I
yeah,
really like the over. I like the over as well.
I might end up betting that actually. I'm just talk myself into something, and let's talk ourselves into the strawweight division again. Because why not? Luana Pinheiro, Angela Overkill Hill, still fighting. She's got like records for fights in the UFC or something at this point, doesn't she?
Fight time, I think for sure she's got the most.
Yeah, she's in there for 15
Yeah,
minutes at
yep.
least every time.
Every time, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's easy for me. I mean, Hills won me some decent money over the past couple years. I know she's got a loss in there to was it Mackenzie Dern? Got a few wins in there as a nice dog. She's not a dog here, slight fade, but Hill by decision is even money. That's a bet I'm going to make again. I'm riding with Angela Hill.
Um, yeah, she's going out there against this Pinheiro is the one that likes to go out and try and do the judo and just ends up head and arming
Mhm.
chicks, right?
And this is the wrong
Um,
pick to
yeah,
try to do that on.
one of the few in the division where
Yep.
that will not work. So yeah, kind of like Hill here, as Wes said, the decision because it's an Angela Hill fight, but Pinheiro has some weird moments. Like what was the Ronda Marcos one where she like won by upkick, but it was like the most fraudulent sell of an upkick that anyone's ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if there could be something weird that happens in the fight and it gets stopped, and she's been stopped a few other times, but it's Angela Hill. I'd probably just take the money line. Keep it simple. Bantamweight division. Adrian Yanez, Vinicius Salvador. Wesley.
Yeah, this should be a semi fun fight. We had some some hype on Yanez a couple years back. Loved watching him knock out fucking Tony Kelly, and then it kind of went downhill from there. Smoked by Rob Font, which is not the worst thing.
Well, that's going into that fight was like his peak height.
Yeah, yeah,
We took Font as a dog in that fight.
that's why he got the Rob Font fight. Like he was moving
Yeah.
towards that direction of getting up towards a title shot. And I mean, then he gets leg kicked to death by Jonathan Martinez. Quite a few guys have had that happen to him.
Not
I feel,
just Galdo.
yeah, not
Correct.
not that guy. Yeah, just I feel like Giannis is so much better than Salvador, but man, coming off a couple losses like he's come off of. This line does seem a little wide. I'm not betting Giannis in this spot. I can't take him minus 400, even against a guy of Salvador's level, coming off two performances like that. I mean, I think there's going to be some leg kicking from Salvador in this fight. You saw the path for Martinez. Salvador's got some decent leg kicks, so I could absolutely see that happening. Um, I was kind of looking at an over here again. The 1.5 is getting a little juicy, but I mean, you're looking at another bantamweight fight, a 1.5 in a bantamweight fight. This isn't Rob Font standing across from Yanez. I don't think Yanez is getting smoked quick by this guy. If it happens, Salvador's gonna be a little more methodical, throw the leg kicks and stuff. Maybe he gets a finish on Yanez. Um, I just 1.5 in a bantamweight fight. I'm gonna usually take those more often than not, and they're gonna cash more often than not. So um, wish it wasn't in the minus 140 or so range. I wish it was a little lower, but just don't think that's too bad of a price on a 1.5 in a bantamweight fight. Yana is going to be the pick for me. I just think he's way, way better. If he doesn't have some shit luck again or gets caught again or leg kicked to death, he should take over in this fight eventually and win. But man, coming off those past two fights, you can't really trust that in minus 400. So yes, pass on aside for me, like the over 1.5.
There was a lot of like, if this doesn't happen, or this
Yeah.
doesn't happen, or this doesn't happen, for a guy to be minus 400.
Yeah, very
coming
true.
into this fight. I guess I think Yanez wins because he's way better. He's the actual bantamweight here. Looks like he has more power. I don't think his chin is an issue. I think his bad defense is an issue. I'm just not sure if Salvador is going to be able to get there quite enough. I just think this is going to end up looking a whole lot more competitive than minus 400 plus 330. So I'm tempted in that regard, which means probably Toutmaster and probably no bet. Don't hate the over. Wes, there was something that you wanted me to look up on 365 earlier, and I had it open, but I don't remember what it was. And
It's the same price.
okay,
It's what was it again? Oh, it was
yeah,
Warley inside. It was plus 350.
gotcha. Actually, I saw a Wardley and under 2.5 was plus 450. It boosted there, which
Yeah,
I would
that's
probably take that instead.
yeah, definitely.
Welterweight division. Ramiz Brahimaj taking on Themba Morimbo.
Mm.
Wait, you're not allowed to do that anymore, right? Anyway, Wes, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have a ton on this fight. I know this Ramiz guy. A lot of shit came out this week about this guy having fucking serious health problems and shit over the past year or so. Um, who knows how healthy he is? I don't I know Garimbo is getting like some hype for some reason. I guess because The Rock gave him a house, so now he's like a good fighter or something. He can sleep in a regular bed. That makes him like some great fighter or something. Um, I
think it
I
doesn't.
don't.
It obviously doesn't hurt,
Well, I
but
mean, you need to sleep, but
the implication is very hilarious. I agree.
yeah, I mean, you sleep on a mat in the gym, you go to a bed in an apartment. Now you're like world championship level fighter. It doesn't correlate. But I mean, he's okay. He's looked okay lately. But I mean, you're never gonna get AJ Fletcher out of your head choking this guy, dead. That happened just like a year and a half ago. But I mean, Ramiz on the same hand, he beat Michael Gilmore, who is literally like a secondary alternate on a tough season, literal bum, an actual bum. The only reason he got that fight in the UFC was because he was a fill-in on tough. So they gave him another fight. The dude lost to Court McGee in 2022. Um, I don't. Both of these guys got massive fucking holes, man. So I just no side for me here. I'm gonna pick Garimbo because he's got a bed to sleep in now. So how can you not take that into account? And I mean, there's another over 1.5 here that's starting to get juicy though, but I don't think we see a quick finish here. I know Grumbo finished Pete Rodriguez last time he caught him with something stupid. He went 15 minutes with fucking Takashi Sato. You know what I'm saying? Ramiz went 15 minutes with fucking Court McGee and shit. Like these dudes aren't like necessarily these crazy good finishers. So it's another over 1.5 here. It's a little juicy at this point, so I don't know if I'm absolutely going to play it, but that's the way I'm leaning to this fight. The old Grumbo is going to be the pick because he's got a bid now.
I don't love the over here. I could see Morimbo getting Marimba. That's the dance, right? Marimba. It's a good one. Getting yearly knockout. But all of Brahimash's finishes are subs. They're all relatively quick. And I think that could very likely happen against a guy who's a little bit unorthodox and wild in his approach. And also, he's got like a lot of limbs that you can grab onto.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful with the submissions. So, kind of like Brahimash here. I was hoping the sub price would be higher. I can't remember what I saw there, but wasn't something that's really, like plus 170, plus 180. Sub round one is like plus 315, which not high enough. I don't know. Maybe we'll just. I don't want to end up on a fight or a bet on this fight unless it's like a big number on something. Like
so many things could happen in this fucking fight. Like
Yeah.
seriously, so many things.
Yeah. So nothing. Just nothing. Co-main event. Wes, I'm not sure if you saw the there was a thread that somebody did about the importance of wiki cap or IG capping. It's like next level wiki capping.
That's a Water Show Sports Network angle.
But on the old IG, Chaos is out there renovating the houses and doing the business, and Carlston Harris is doing the Carlton. He's in the gym, nose to the grindstone, putting in work. Is Chaos ready for the Carlton?
I think Carlton might be doing a funny dance on this guy's head come Saturday. Chaos looks the part. You know, he really looks the part.
Great coming off the bus, as they say.
I'm just not sure he's got the substance to back all that up. I mean, guy went to a split decision against a fucking should be a soccer player like Ronaldo Bedoya. Like that dude should play for fucking Peru or some shit. Yeah, I've never been very impressed with Carlos Williams. Like I said, I think he gets the hype because the dude's got the look. You think he's going to be a killer? He's really not. He's got some okay. I guess the Baeza win. Now we know like that guy's chin is fucking gravel. So, Randy Brown lost. The split last time was really, really bad. Man, the old Carlton getting fucking smoked by Wells. I mean, props for hanging on and pulling it off. Cost me so much money.
Yep.
That's a good thing to have here, though. He might have to weather some shit from Chaos early on. I think he can if he has to. I think he's the better all around fighter too at this point. So I haven't bet it. I'm hoping some Chaos money comes in. It seems like for me, it feels like people's going to be betting in this spot, especially your tape study guys that like to get into the tape, I think they're going to go look at that Wells fight and think that Harris is a bum. And I think Wells is just very, very good. That fucked up in that fight very badly. Um, and I think Harris is just a better fighter than Chaos Williams. So I'm going to be taking a little of the dog money. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hope that some chaos money comes in and I can get a tiny bit better price. But I like Harris slightly in this fight. Still very close fight. Very close fight.
I like Harris as well, and I think the prices out there are enough for me to bet it on the off chance that I'm watching this. Like plus 115 on the guy who's definitely the better grappler, seems to have the better pace, probably doesn't have more power, but doesn't have no power.
Yeah.
Obviously can take a bit of a beating. And every time we've seen Chaos Williams not knock a guy out with the first punch, he's gone very deep in fights, which I think is going to be a problem for him here. So, yeah, I like the Carlton.
Ooh, let's dance.
Yeah. Featherweight division, also like comical that is the co-main event.
Yeah. That I you can't think back of them all. That's literally got to be one of the worst low level co-mains. Like has to be Chaos Williams against Carlton fucking Harris co-main.
And like even the main event here, it's a good fight. It's a fight that I will watch. Cool that it's 5 rounds. I think
It's like a main card fight. It's like a main card fight.
Yeah, it's a good main card fight. Is not a good main event. Love Edson. Not a good main event. What's he ranked these days? He's 12th, and old Lee Roan Jenkins. It's not even ranked. Main event. Boom. Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, love Edson. One of my faves ever. Dude's got some all-time KOs in the sport. I mean, just a couple back, the Billy Q, just man, that was so sweet. And then
just one of the absolute best highlight reels of all time.
Yeah, you can go down. I mean, you got to have the longevity to get a highlight reel like that. And man, the longevity of Barboza kind of reinventing himself after a couple tough losses. A couple years back, 2 really good wins. The Youssef win was just like prime Edson. Didn't get a finish, but man, looked very, very good in that fight. I just think this comes down to Edson more times than not has very, very good takedown defense. And if you get him down, he doesn't stay there. He gets back up. Most of the time can back up to the fence and land some knees and shit. He makes you pay for trying to get those takedowns. And I just think in a kickboxing setting, he's better than Murphy. You're getting dog money on an all-time finisher, a dude that's got very good takedown defense, great kickboxer, durable as fucking shit still at this stage of his career. I just feel like you have to take, I mean, this dude's, I'm not going to go all time great, but Edson is fucking an all time really, really good fighter, man. And you're getting plus money on him here against an unranked guy. Like, I like Lerone Murphy, he's fine. I just think this is a bad matchup for him against a fucking really, really good guy. So, plus money on Edson here it feels like you got to take some of that. So I will probably my favorite bet on the card, Edson in the main event, dog money.
Yeah. Once upon a time, I picked Lerone Murphy as my breakout fighter of the year. And I can't remember if that's the year where he didn't fight at all, or if that's the year where like he barely beat a couple guys. It was one of those. But he's just like I've always thought he's had potential, but he's never broken out. Um, the last 2 wins probably look a little bit deceiving in a negative sense because like he went to decision with Kulabau and a split decision against Gabriel Santos. I think both those guys are pretty good, but the problem is there's a big jump from Josh Kulabau up to Edson Barboza. Um, and it's going to be Edson Barboza over 5 rounds. And his style, since he's moved down to featherweight, is like he breaks dudes down over time. Mm-hmm. He is one of the more dedicated body strikers around. And that might not have an impact immediately. And maybe there's even some early success for Murphy. But if Murphy can't get consistent takedowns, and I don't think he can here, he's going to slow down significantly to the body and legs with all the shit that he's going to be eating from Edson. And eventually, I think Edson gets to him in the later rounds. Maybe decision, but I'm assuming the later round props are going to be much more intriguing to me from a numbers perspective.
Let's see what those look like. Barboza 3 is 12, 4 is 18, and 5 is 22.
Nice. Those aren't terrible.
That's
we'll wait to see what opens up.
Yeah, you'll get better.
That's old Mason. Yeah, so that's how I see it going. But first and foremost, we're gonna have some Barboza money line because could go all the way to decision as well. That is a distinct possibility in this fight. In fact, it is slightly favored to do so, or I guess even money to do so. But Edson Barboza is going to be the consensus bet of the week. And I think we're taking what's out there? We've got plus 124 at DraftKings. Is that
yep,
that is still around. We'll round it down, include a couple other books. We'll say plus 120 is the consensus bet of the week for Edson Barboza. Wesley, we did it. Quick. Just over an hour too. Usually it's a bit of a workout for me to keep you in check, make sure you don't go too crazy with any rants. But I feel like I was one dragging us out this week, so
I felt myself trilling on every now and then and tried to button it up pretty quick. So
I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week, I think. Unless you have anything that you want to add, I want to get to watching the end of the sports that are happening.
Yeah, we got some NBA playoffs and the Dallas Stars are playing. So yeah, back to a very good card next 2 weeks. I think we got a week off. So 2 weeks we'll have 302 up in I believe that is in New Jersey. And hello card. Really, really good card. Not so sure about the main event. I think that might just be a blowout, but hopefully we can get some Dustin Poirier magic once again, and we can put this mac and cheese back over and put him in a fucking a cave somewhere, and we don't have to see him for a while.
Yeah, would be nice. So yeah, we're not going to see you for a couple weeks. Canadians, enjoy May 2-4 weekend, which is happening from May 18th to 19th. I guess May 18th to 20th. So May 2-4 weekend, obviously. Americans, I believe the following weekend is the Memorial Day.
Yep.
So enjoy your Memorial Day. Watch the NCAA lacrosse championships on Memorial Day. When you're sitting around, you're barbecuing or whatever you Yanks do, just throw on the old Espen and watch a little bit of lacrosse. Why not? Who's it going to hurt? But anyways, enjoy both of those holidays. Whatever other listeners that we have in all of the numerous ones of countries that listen to the show. Enjoy your respective holidays if you have any. And we'll be back with you in a couple weeks' time. Thanks, folks. God damn.